Algebra 2, Lesson 2, Negative Exponents, Product and Power Theorems for Exponents and Circle Relationships. Beginning with practice A through D. So the first one, A, is to simplify a number with a negative exponent. So remember, negative exponents can be rewritten as fractions and just mean that whatever this value is should be moved in its location in the fraction. If we were to turn this whole number into a fraction, it would be put over 1. The negative means that we move it from the numerator to the denominator, or if it were in the denominator, it would move to the numerator, vice versa. So this negative moves this down, and it becomes 1 over negative 4 squared. 4 squared is 16, so then we get 1 over negative 16. The negative can move out, so our final answer is just negative 1 over 16. Very simple. B, similar thing, except we have a negative enclosed in parentheses with the 4. So again, we'll take this number, put it over 1, rewrite it with a positive exponent. That moves it from the numerator to the denominator. So we get 1 over negative, parentheses, negative 4 squared. This negative being included in the parentheses means that this negative gets multiplied when it's squared. So what this is negative 4 times negative 4 in parentheses, and that gives us a positive 16, but we can't forget about this negative up here, which comes down and makes it a negative 16. So all of that means our final answer over here is also negative 1 over 16. Alright, so starting off with some easy examples. Next, C gets a little more difficult. We have to simplify a lot of exponents. The best way to deal with these, since they look like a soup, is to just simplify the numerator, simplify the denominator, and then simplify your final answer, if possible. The instructions don't tell us specifically to write the answer in all positive exponents, all negative exponents. If it's not specifically instructed, I'll usually just write the answer with all positive exponents, as that makes it easier to understand. So we'll start with this numerator. Parentheses with an exponent on the outside means that we're going to multiply each of these exponents by the external exponent. 0 times any number is 0, so this becomes x to the 0, y to the 0, which is equal to 1. So we essentially have 1 times 1. So this entire piece right here is just going to equal the number 1. So it kind of goes away. Over here, same thing, negative 2 times negative 3, and then negative 2 times the invisible exponent of 1 here. So negative 2 times negative 3 gives us a positive 6, so we now have x to the positive 6. Negative 2 times 1 gives us y to the negative 2. So that numerator can be rewritten as x6, y negative 2. Moving down to the denominator. We have y negative 8 and y2. So we're going to combine these y's. Now, as opposed to the distributive property we did up here, when we're just multiplying unknowns that have exponents, all we're going to do is add the exponents. So we add this negative 8, we add that positive 2. Negative 8 plus 2 is going to come out to y negative 6. Same thing with these x's. We're going to add the 4 and the 3. 4 and 3 come out to 7, so then we have x7. So our new denominator will be rewritten as x to the power of 7, y to the power of negative 6. Now we're going to try to rationalize this as much as possible. I'll start by making these negative exponents positive. I can move the negative 6 to the top, so that becomes x6 y to the positive 6, and then I'm going to at the same time move that positive, or that negative 2 to the bottom, so then we have x7 y positive 2. From here we can simply cancel out, trade 1x for 1x, so x to the 6 will cancel 6 of these x's down here. If we subtract 6 from that 7, we are just left with 1x, and then this y will cancel out 2 from that one up there, so the 6 minus 2 just leaves us with y to the power of 4. So our final answer is going to be y to the power of 4 over x. Last problem. if the area of the circle is equal to 49 times pi centimeters squared, what is the value of the circumference? You'll be seeing in this Algebra 2 book, a lot of times we won't have to actually multiply any of our volumes, areas by the value of 3.14. We're going to leave them in pi form. So using our knowledge of area of the circle, which the area equals pi r squared, that means that r squared is equal to 49. So if r squared equals 49, we square root each side. Square root of r squared is just r. Square root of 49 is 7. So if the radius is equal to 7 and the circumference is equal to pi times diameter, we double the radius. That would equal the diameter. So the diameter is 14. So the value of the circumference would be 14 pi, and then don't forget your unit, centimeters. The unit will not be squared because circumference is a linear distance, not an area distance. So the answer would be 14 pi centimeters.